Hey guys, this week we're going to be talking about work boots, so stick around. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of BS with AJ. As I said before, this week we're going to be talking about work boots. Normally I do videos on home improvement or woodworking, wood turning, or things of that nature. But work boots is something a lot of us wear, so I wanted to be sure and cover this subject. As a construction worker myself during the day, you are required to wear work boots with steel toes on most jobs that I go to, almost every single one of them actually. So I know a lot of people are required to wear work boots, and at every job site I've been to, there's always been a discussion about work boots at some point in time because everybody wears a specific brand or they think this brand lasts the longest or things like that. So I'll always be sure to tell them about mine because I found them at a good deal one time and they lasted longer than any other boots that I've ever worn before. So I wanted to tell people about that. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video. I will tell you up front, I am not endorsed by this company or this product or anything like that. They're not paying me to make this video. This is not necessarily a review video. I'm just letting you know my opinions. There will, however, be a link down in the description below. If you want to look for these style boots, you can go and click that and it'll take you right to them. You can just pick your size and order. So before we get started on that, if you like videos like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider supporting BS with AJ on Patreon so we can do bigger and better projects for you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so the brand work boot we're talking about today is Twisted X. Now, a lot of people, when I say Twisted X, think of cowboy style boots, and that's honestly the majority of what they sell. Every store that I've gone into that's had this brand normally has those in stock, and they don't have this style in stock. So this is what I prefer wearing. I've worked a lot of different jobs with these boots, and they've lasted a really long time. And like I said, I'm not endorsed by this company. They didn't ask me to do a review of them or anything. For all I know, they probably don't even know I wear these boots. But honestly, I bought these the first time I came across this brand was at a store that was going out of business, and it was 50% off. So I figured, okay, it's not going to hurt to try these boots out because they're half price. So I'm not at a big loss here. So if they don't last, it's not a big deal. And right at the time, I was in the market for a new pair of boots anyway because the brands I'd been using, they've been wearing out really quickly, and I just wasn't happy with them. So that's why I got these at first. They were really cheap at first, of course, and I really liked them. So as the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I've been wearing these for 6 or 8 years. I'm not for sure exactly how long, but I know I bought a lot of pair of these boots, and I always keep going back to this brand because I can make these last a year or more. And I'm really kind of hard on boots. I wear them every single day. Whether it's around the house, out in the yard, out in my shop. I've worked several construction jobs with these boots on. I've worked as a plumber, I've worked as a sheet metal worker, I've worked as an iron worker, and I've also worked as a roofer. So this has been on concrete, in the mud, crawling around, digging through things, up on, when you're roofing, that really puts wear and tear on your boots because you're always at an angle, you have all that grit that's rubbing up against them and everything. And they've always lasted at least a year, sometimes a lot longer than that. So I really like this style boot. I'm just letting you know, like I said before, I'm not endorsed by this company. They're not paying me to do a review. They didn't ask me to do a review. They didn't give me these boots by any means. I paid for them myself. There will be a link, like I said before, in the description where you can click on it and go directly to find this style boot, pick out your size. I think they have a couple of different colors that you can choose from. But like I said, this is just my preference. I'm in no way affiliated with this company, just to let you know. So let's go ahead and open these up now. All right, so obviously you have both boots in here. They're covered in plastic to keep the leather from getting scuffed up, I guess. Also, they always come with this sticker right here. And I mean, if you like collecting stickers, if you like putting them on your lunchbox like a lot of construction workers do, there you go. You got a cool little sticker that come with it. Well, I say little, it's a pretty big sticker, but whatever. All right, now you'll notice all these tags here on this boot. So these are waterproof, they're steel toe, they're electric hazard resistant, and also right here on the bottom, there's not a tag for it, but here on the bottom, I'll kind of see if you can read that or not. They're also oil resistant and slip resistant. So these are perfect for pretty much any kind of construction work that I've come across at least. like I said, I've worked as a plumber, I've worked as an iron worker, I've worked as a roofer, and as a sheet metal worker. I've been on concrete, in the mud, crawling through things. I wear them around the house, out in public, all over the place. I wear these things all the time, and I always have them last at least a year. These are square toe, so I mean, if you don't like that style, they might sell them in the rounded toe. I'm not for sure on that. Honestly, I like the square toe, not because of the style necessarily, but because I feel like they're more comfortable. Now, that's just my opinion. That's up to you, however you want to do it. Now, these that I normally buy are also the lace-up style. I like that. Personally, I don't really like wearing the slip-on kind of boots because a lot of times I end up having to crawl under things or I'm walking through mud and it kind of, your boots sometimes get stuck in them. So I don't like my boots just randomly coming off or trying to come off all day long. So I like wearing the lace-up so I can get them good and tight. I know that they're not going to go anywhere. But again, that's just a personal preference. I'm sure they sell these in the slip-on style also that are just as durable. But basically, I found something out as an iron worker. I learned a little secret that I do to every kind of boot that I always get. I like to take shoe goo and put all over the steel toe here. Because if you wore steel-toed boots for any amount of time, you'll notice the first thing that wears out on them is the steel toe. Because anytime you're rubbing up against something, it's got a hard surface under there, the steel toe obviously, that's rubbing, and you'll always end up getting a hole somewhere where this steel toe is. So to avoid that, I've been using shoe goo. And I just normally take a layer and I put it on pretty thick, put it right all over the toe, sometimes a little bit past it. And that'll help keep that waterproof, because that's my main concern. I've had to walk through mud plenty of times after I've wore these things out pretty good, and they continue to be waterproof because I keep putting that stuff on the steel toe. All right, so one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is because every construction job I've gone to, there's always a discussion about boots and what style you wear, what brand you wear, and why you like those, because everybody has a specific brand that they think lasts the longest. Like I said, I've been wearing these for probably 6 or 7 years. I always buy this brand because I can always make them last a year or more. These boots right here, I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison here. So these boots are over a year. I'm not for sure exactly how old they are, but I know for a fact they're over a year old. As you can see, this is the shoe goo that I put on there, and as you can see, the toe is still intact because of that. So that's the reason I do that. The shoe goo itself is pretty tough, and it'll help keep your boots from wearing out. So I suggest that on any style boot, any brand boot that you end up buying, because like I said, that's always the first thing to wear out on any pair of shoe, not just with me, with everybody I've ever seen wearing steel toes. The first thing I always see, there's always a hole somewhere on their toe, and then they're no longer waterproof. And that's a big issue for me because wet feet, I don't like having wet feet. It's not fun. All right, so like I said, these are over a year old. I just recently got done doing a roofing job for the past several months. And so you'll see it's got that wear on the side here on the leather. It's still holding together really well. This is from not standing on that angle. I didn't have this before I started working on that job, but I worked on that job for probably like 4 months or so. And it finally did start open up just a little bit. Now, again, these are over a year old, so that's not a really big surprise to me. As long as you take care of your boots, they're gonna last a long time. Right here, there's a little rivet that came loose, but they're still holding together. That's not what's causing, it's not causing any issues or anything like that. Over here, the seam did bust loose on that same roofing job. But like I said, these are over a year old. That's the whole reason I buy these, because I know that they're gonna last. I've only had these boots do something like this. This is the second time it's happened to me, and I've owned several pair of these. So these are really durable. It's just on those really tough jobs, of course, they're gonna wear out a little bit more. As you can see, the bottom of it, the treads wore out just a little bit, not like a tremendous amount, because this has that slip resistance or the oil resistance, that little bitty bumps that you can barely see. Honestly, they hold up really well. And I enjoy wearing these. They're comfortable once you get them broke in and everything. You will have to replace the shoelaces, because shoelaces wear out pretty quick, actually. This is only the second pair that I've had to put in these boots here, so they do last a pretty good while. But again, I mean, they're shoelaces. You tie them every single day. You tighten them up. They rub up against the metal. They're going to wear out. It's just how it happens. All right, guys, well, I guess that concludes this week's video. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about these boots because I hate wasting money on boots and them not lasting, or I have to continually buy boots because I'm buying cheaper or something like that. I hate to do it, and I hate to see other people do it. This recent job that I was just working on, the roofing job, I seen this guy go through about 3 or 4 pair of shoes. I don't know why he was wearing shoes instead of boots. But he went through 3 or 4 pair of shoes on this one job alone. It was only like 4 months. And I've had these boots the whole time after I've already had them for about a year or so. So these are really durable. I hate to see people wasting their money. So anytime I get a chance, I always tell them about these boots because I've always had a good experience with them. Like I said, that's all personal preference. I'm not endorsed by this company by any means. As you can see, I obviously buy these pair of boots because I've had these for quite a while. So like I said, I just wanted to tell you guys about them. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider supporting BS with AJ on Patreon so we can do bigger and better projects for you guys. I'll see you next week.